This is San Francisco. Right now, 2025. The most expensive city in America, where a software engineer earning $150,000 qualifies as low income, where a one-bedroom apartment costs $3,500 monthly, where homelessness reached epidemic levels despite being surrounded by unprecedented wealth. This is the capital of innovation that couldn't solve its own problems. The numbers tell a brutal story. Between 2015 and 2025, San Francisco lost 78,000 residents. Teachers, firefighters, nurses, middle-class workers priced out of their own city. The median home price hit $2.1 million. Only tech workers and the already wealthy could afford to stay. The city was eating itself. Tech companies made it worse. Google, Meta, Apple, their shuttle buses clogged streets. Their highly paid workers drove housing costs skyward. Tech campuses in Silicon Valley pulled $30 billion in economic activity out of San Francisco daily. The city that birthed the tech revolution became its victim. Innovation happened everywhere except where it could help the city itself. Climate change threatened the city's very existence. Sea level rise projections showed the Embarcadero underwater by 2050. The financial district flooded. San Francisco Airport submerged. Earthquakes remained a constant threat on the San Andreas and Hayward faults. San Francisco faced environmental catastrophe from water, earth, and its own economic structure. Political gridlock paralyzed solutions. Every proposal met opposition. Build housing? Neighborhood groups sued. Reform zoning? Preservation activists blocked it. Raise taxes for infrastructure? Businesses threatened to leave. The city that prided itself on progressive values couldn't progress. San Francisco was brilliant at identifying problems and impotent at solving them. This is San Francisco today. Expensive, unequal, threatened by nature and paralyzed by politics. The innovation capital that couldn't innovate its way out of crisis. But 60 years from now, everything changes. Not despite the tech industry. Because of it. When Silicon Valley finally decided to save the city that birthed it. The transformation began with guilt. In 2028, a Stanford study quantified exactly how much the tech industry contributed to San Francisco's housing crisis. The number was staggering. 63% of price increases directly traceable to tech sector growth. The industry that prided itself on changing the world had to confront what had changed in its hometown. The response came from an unexpected source. Dr. Priya Mehta, Chief Technology Officer at Google, proposed something radical in 2029, the San Francisco Commitment. 10 major tech companies pledging $100 billion over 20 years to completely rebuild San Francisco's infrastructure. Not charity, investment, making the city work for everyone, not just the wealthy. Critics called it a publicity stunt. But Meta structured it brilliantly. The money came with conditions. The city had to streamline permitting, eliminate NIMBY lawsuits, allow experimental construction, reform zoning laws. The tech industry would fund transformation, but only if politics got out of the way. The city council, facing bankruptcy and exodus, had no choice. They agreed. The San Francisco Innovation District broke ground in 2031. Not in the suburbs, in the city itself. A completely integrated neighborhood combining housing, offices, retail, and green space. Built using modular construction methods developed by tech-funded startups. The first phase completed in 18 months. Unheard of speed for San Francisco. But the real innovation wasn't the buildings. It was the economic model. Dr. Mehta introduced dynamic pricing housing. Rent adjusted based on income using AI and blockchain verification. A teacher paid 20% of income. A tech executive paid market rate. The same building. True economic integration. Critics called it socialism. Meta called it mathematics. And it worked. By 2035, the Innovation District housed 42,000 residents. Crime rates, 60% below city average. Resident satisfaction, 91%. Housing costs, affordable for median income workers. The model that everyone said couldn't work was working. Other neighborhoods demanded the same treatment. The transformation accelerated. Climate adaptation happened simultaneously. The Embarcadero Enhancement Project started in 2033. Instead of building walls against the sea, engineers created amphibious architecture. Buildings that could rise with water levels. Streets that functioned as flood channels during storms. Fighting nature with flexibility rather than force. The earthquake problem required different thinking. Traditional building codes required massive foundations and rigid structures. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a Japanese seismic engineer hired by the Tech Coalition, introduced biomimetic architecture. Buildings that swayed like bamboo during quakes. Flexible materials that absorbed and dissipated energy. Not resistance. Resilience. Welcome to San Francisco 2085. The most integrated city in America. Not segregated by wealth. Not divided between tech and everyone else. A city where AI, biotechnology, and human-centered design created something unprecedented. Let me show you what 60 years of intentional transformation achieved. The city's physical structure transformed completely. Those famous hills? Still there. But mobility doesn't depend on them anymore. AI-controlled aerial tramways connect every neighborhood. Think cable cars, but flying. Silent. Electric. Operating on demand. Tourists love them. Residents depend on them. San Francisco finally solved its geographic challenge. The Golden Gate Bridge remains, but it's been transformed. The roadway still carries vehicles, but the towers now generate power. Massive vertical turbines harness wind from the Golden Gate Strait. The bridge produces enough energy to power 30,000 homes. An icon of the past became infrastructure for the future. Housing is no longer the crisis. It's the solution. 92% of San Francisco residents live in mixed-income buildings. The dynamic pricing model expanded citywide. A police officer and a biotechnology executive live in the same building, pay proportional rent, share amenities. Economic segregation simply ended, and crime followed poverty downward. The tech industry didn't leave. It embedded itself. Company offices now sit on ground floors of residential buildings. Engineers walk downstairs to work. Families use rooftop spaces where server farms once sat. The separation between tech workspace and city life dissolved. Tech became part of the city, not apart from it. Education revolutionized. San Francisco Unified School District partnered with tech companies for real-world learning. Ninth graders intern at biotech labs. High schoolers code with professional engineers. Every student graduates with both diploma and industry certification. The pipeline from education to employment became a direct line. Healthcare became predictive rather than reactive. AI health monitoring integrated into city infrastructure. San Francisco General doesn't wait for emergencies. It identifies health risks before they manifest. Life expectancy in 2085 SF, 94 years. National average, 82. The difference? Data-driven preventive care accessible to everyone. The Embarcadero didn't drown. It adapted. Buildings rise on hydraulic platforms. During king tides, structures lift automatically. Streets channel water through designed flood systems. What was once a disaster waiting to happen became an aquatic feature. Kayakers paddle through ground-level waterways during high tide. It's spectacular. Golden Gate Park quadrupled in size. The Richmond and Sunset districts incorporated massive urban forests. Every new building required integrated green space. San Francisco became the greenest major city in America. Bird populations increased 300%. Air quality exceeded federal standards by wide margins. The concrete jungle became an actual forest. Food production became local and vertical. Every neighborhood includes hydroponic towers producing vegetables year-round. Fog catchers harvest water from San Francisco's famous mist. The city feeds itself 48% of all consumed produce. Food miles dropped from 1,500 to less than 2. fresh, local, sustainable. The financial district didn't disappear. It evolved. Blockchain eliminated most banking buildings. AI trading required minimal physical space. The towers remain but repurposed. Residential, educational, cultural. The Transamerica Pyramid now houses the San Francisco Institute of Biotechnology. Form preserved. Function transformed. Public transportation became free in 2062, completely funded by tech company taxes and congestion fees on private vehicles. BART expanded to every neighborhood. Autonomous shuttles run continuously. Nobody needs to own a car. And most don't. Vehicle ownership dropped from 68% to 19%. Earthquakes? Still happen. But buildings no longer fall. The biomimetic architecture Dr. Tanaka introduced became standard. During the 2079 6.8 magnitude quake, the largest since 1989, buildings swayed dramatically, but zero structural failures occurred. Zero deaths. Seismic engineering perfected. Tourism evolved from sightseeing to experiencing. Visitors don't just photograph the painted ladies. They live in them. Historic houses converted to short-term residential experiences. You don't tour Chinatown. You cook with families there. San Francisco sells authenticity, not attractions. And it works. Tourism revenue tripled. Homelessness? The crisis that defined 2025 SF was solved by 2055. Not through enforcement. Through housing first policies funded by tech wealth. Every homeless person offered housing, mental health care, and job training. Success rate, 73%. The visible street homelessness that shocked visitors? Gone. Because the city finally committed resources equal to the problem. San Francisco 2085 isn't perfect. Tensions still exist. Some resent tech's continuing influence. Others argue change happened too slowly. But the numbers don't lie. Affordable housing, 84% coverage. Income inequality, lowest among major U.S. cities. Quality of life index, #1 nationally. The tech capital learned to spread its wealth. Finally, let's follow a day in the life. Meet Kenji Martinez, 38 years old, public school teacher. In 2025, he couldn't afford to live in San Francisco on a teacher's salary. In 2085, he lives in a 2-bedroom apartment in No Valley. Dynamic pricing means his rent is 22% of income, about $2,000 monthly. His neighbor, a Google AI engineer, pays $8,000 for an identical unit. Same building, different abilities to pay. Kenji walks to work, not because he can't afford transportation, remember it's free, but because his school is 4 blocks away. The integration initiative of 2045 mandated essential workers live near their jobs. Teachers, firefighters, police, nurses, all eligible for priority housing in their work neighborhoods. Kenji walks past his Google engineer neighbor, also heading to work. Both live and work in the same district. Kenji and his Google engineer neighbor walking to work in same direction 2085. Casual morning conversation between teacher and tech worker. Integrated neighborhood visible, photorealistic. Genuine cross-class community, tree-lined San Francisco street. Both valued professionals walking together. Bright morning. Sense of social integration working naturally. Rosa Parks Elementary, 2085. Students in biotech lab learning from both teacher Kenji and professional scientists. Children engaged with real scientific equipment. Integrated education model, photorealistic, revolutionary learning environment. Diverse elementary students. Bright modern classroom lab hybrid. Sense of authentic learning. School rooftop farm 2085. Students harvesting vegetables they planted. Kenji teaching agriculture and nutrition during lunch. Fog catchers visible providing water, photorealistic, integrated experiential learning, healthy fresh food, children excited about growing food, bright rooftop setting, educational meal experience. Kenji and daughter Maya boarding autonomous shuttle 2085, heading to soccer practice, comfortable free public transit, photorealistic, accessible family mobility, modern clean vehicle interior, father-daughter moment, afternoon commute, diverse passengers visible, sense of equitable transportation working. Kenji using AR glasses for video call, with his mother appearing as life-size holograms sitting beside him. 2085. Watching granddaughters soccer practice together virtually, photorealistic. Technology enabling family connection across distance. Park bench setting, emotional family moment, enhanced by tech. Afternoon park atmosphere. Community kitchen in apartment building. 2085. Diverse residents cooking together. Kenji preparing Filipino food. Neighbors making Mexican and Korean dishes. Communal dinner forming, photorealistic, authentic, cultural exchange. Warm social gathering, modern shared kitchen space. Sense of organic community building. Evening, cooking atmosphere. Building communal learning space. 2085. Diverse children receiving homework, help from volunteer Stanford tutor. Maya and other kids including engineer's daughter learning together, photorealistic, educational equity in action, comfortable study space. Mixed income kids accessing same resources, warm educational environment. Evening study session. Kenji attending scientific lecture at California Academy of Sciences. 2085. Diverse non-scientist audience including teachers and workers learning about advanced research. Free public access to knowledge. Photorealistic, democratized intellectual culture, modern lecture hall. Engaged audience of regular citizens. Evening educational event. Kenji and sleeping daughter Maya on aerial tram at night. 2085. Beautiful bay views with bioluminescent watermarkers. Peaceful father-daughter moment. Photorealistic, comfortable evening commute. SF lights below. Sense of accessible quality of life achieved. Warm, intimate lighting inside tram. Serene conclusion today. Kenji tucking Maya into bed in their comfortable apartment. 2085. Peaceful end today. Middle-class teacher living well in SF. Photorealistic. Aspirational accessibility. Sense of achieved housing security and quality of life for essential workers. Warm bedtime scene. Father-daughter love. Comfortable home. Comparison showing tech workers' quality of life also improved. 2085. Shorter commute. Kids in excellent integrated schools. Enjoying clean, safe city. Photorealistic, mutual benefit visible. Wealthy benefiting from equitable policies. Sense that rising tide lifted all boats. Modern, prosperous SF life. Balanced perspective. Health data visualization, comparing 2025 versus 2085 life expectancy gaps. Dramatic narrowing of inequality visible in charts. Photorealistic rendering with medical graphics. Lives saved and extended through social policy. Professional health statistics display. Compelling data showing human impact. Blue and green positive health metrics. Safe SF neighborhood at night. 2085. People walking comfortably after dark. Families out well-lit streets. Visible safety through social investment, not policing. Photorealistic. Achieved public safety through addressing causes. Sense of community security. Evening street life. People at ease. Natural night lighting. City OS Control Center. 2085. Massive displays showing real-time city management, but focused on human well-being metrics, not just efficiency. Diverse operators monitoring. Photorealistic, human-centered AI governance. High-tech command center. Sense of technology serving people. Blue interface lighting. Sophisticated but human-focused. Visualization of dynamic pricing, housing algorithm. 2085. Blockchain verification visible. Transparent system showing how rent is calculated fairly. Photorealistic rendering with technical graphics. Oversight board reviewing code. Sense of accountable AI governance. Professional technical environment. Blue code visualization. Ethical technology. Home health monitoring system. 2085. Non-invasive sensors integrated into living space. AI detecting health issues early. Resident receiving caring health notification on screen. Photorealistic, privacy-respecting health tech. Modern apartment with subtle sensors. Sense of protective health monitoring, not surveillance. Natural home lighting. Kenji using AI teaching assistant. 2085. Holographic display showing individual student learning patterns. Teacher making informed decisions with AI support. Photorealistic. Technology augmenting, not replacing teachers. Classroom with AI integration visible, but teacher central. Students learning individually. Bright collaborative teaching environment. Kenji using AI teaching assistant. 2085. Holographic display showing individual student learning patterns. Teacher making informed decisions with AI support. Photorealistic. Technology augmenting, not replacing teachers. Classroom with AI integration visible, but teacher central. Students learning individually. Bright collaborative teaching environment. Emergency management during 2072 storm. AI presenting flood predictions. Human operators making final evacuation decisions. Collaborative human-AI crisis response. Photorealistic, balanced technology governance. Emergency Operations Center. Serious professional crisis management. AI assisting human judgment. Emergency lighting. Microscopic view of engineered bacteria cleaning bay water 2085. Transitioning to macro view of bioconcrete self-repairing building. Genetically enhanced air purifying plants on streets. Photorealistic, living city technology. Sense of biological and technological integration. Scientific visualization style. Green and blue biological aesthetics. Citizen reviewing and controlling their personal data 2085. Transparent interface, showing what data exists and who accesses it. Privacy control dashboard, photorealistic, empowered data ownership. Person confidently managing digital privacy, modern interface. Sense of individual digital rights protected. Clear user-friendly design. Community council meeting reviewing city algorithms, 2085. Diverse residents examining code and proposing changes. Transparent technology governance. Photorealistic, democratic oversight of AI systems. Community members empowered to shape technology. Meeting room with technical displays. Sense of citizen control. Engage diverse participants. Efficient government services 2085. AI processing applications instantly while human staff handle exceptions and audits. Streamlined bureaucracy serving people quickly. Photorealistic. Government efficiency revolution, modern city office, diverse staff and AI working together. Sense of responsive, effective government. Professional, efficient atmosphere. Decentralized energy grid visualization 2085. Buildings communicating with each other about power generation and use. Neighborhood battery systems visible. Photorealistic rendering with energy flow graphics. Intelligent grid management. Sense of buildings as energy network nodes. Blue and green energy visualization. Sustainable power ecosystem. Financial ROI analysis 2085. Technology investment versus returns visualization. $87 billion investment generating $200 billion savings. Photorealistic rendering with financial graphics. Compelling economic case for tech-enabled equity. Professional financial analysis display. Blue and gold prosperity metrics. Clear benefit documentation. Families being displaced during transition period 2030s to 2040s. Moving trucks. People leaving SF before policies protected them. Photorealistic, honest acknowledgement of those left behind. Sense of transition period casualties. Documentary style showing human cost, somber atmosphere. People who didn't benefit from transformation. Comparison of neighborhood character 2025 versus 2085. Cultural dilution, visible despite physical preservation. Photorealistic, honest portrayal of cultural change. Sense of authentic community versus preserved aesthetic. Documentary comparison, showing complexity of gentrification despite good intentions. Balanced perspective. Researchers discovering algorithmic bias 2058. Examining code and finding unintentional discrimination in AI system. Serious technical review, photorealistic. Technology requiring constant oversight. Diverse team of auditors finding problems, computer lab setting. Sense of ongoing work needed to maintain fairness. Professional investigation atmosphere. Public forum debate about privacy versus services 2085. Citizens with different views discussing trade-offs, no clear consensus, photorealistic, ongoing democratic struggle with technology ethics, diverse perspectives visible, community meetings showing complexity, sense of continuing challenge, thoughtful civic engagement. Oversight board meeting reviewing tech company influence 2085, attempting to balance private funding with public accountability, photorealistic, ongoing governance challenge. Diverse board members examining financial and policy connections, sense of necessary but imperfect oversight, professional boardroom, serious responsibility. Flooding during 2081 king tide, adapted buildings mostly handling it, but some struggling. Ongoing climate challenge visible, photorealistic. Reality that adaptation is continuous not final, emergency response active. Sense that nature still poses threats, workers responding professionally. Serious, ongoing challenge. Mental Health Support Group 2085. Residents dealing with adaptation stress despite material improvements. Photorealistic. Paradox of progress, creating psychological challenges, supportive therapy environment, diverse participants sharing struggles, sense that human adaptation takes time, compassionate professional setting, acknowledging emotional reality. Contrast between fully transformed SF neighborhood and one still waiting for upgrades 2085. Visible inequality in infrastructure quality, photorealistic, honest portrayal of uneven progress. Side-by-side comparison showing disparity. Sense of frustration in underserved areas. Documentary style showing reality of phased implementation. Longtime SF residents expressing nostalgia for Old City Character 2085. Mix of appreciation and loss visible, photorealistic. Valid perspective on cultural change. Older residents remembering grittier, but perhaps more authentic past. Sense of legitimate grief for what was lost. Contemplative group discussion. Honest, emotional complexity. San Francisco 2085 isn't utopia. It's a work in progress. Problem solved. New problems created. Old inequalities reduced. New tensions emerged. But the direction is clear. The city committed to equity, sustainability, and innovation. Not perfectly executed, but genuinely attempted. That's more than most cities can claim. Progress, not perfection. San Francisco's transformation influenced cities worldwide. Not just the technology, the philosophy. That tech wealth should serve everyone, not just shareholders. That cities can engineer equity, not just efficiency. By 2085, 37 cities globally implemented variations of San Francisco's model. Each adapted to local culture, but all following the core principle, technology for people. Seattle adopted dynamic pricing, housing in 2052. Boston implemented biomimetic earthquake architecture in 2057. Portland created community kitchen buildings in 2061. Each city borrowed pieces, adapted them, improved them. San Francisco started a movement, not by mandating replication, by proving it works. Seattle adopted dynamic pricing, housing in 2052. Boston implemented biomimetic earthquake architecture in 2057. Portland created community kitchen buildings in 2061. Each city borrowed pieces, adapted them, improved them. San Francisco started a movement, not by mandating replication, by proving it works. The academic impact matched practical replication. Stanford School of Urban Equity, founded 2048, trained urban planners from 80 countries. They studied San Francisco as their laboratory. Students graduated with both theoretical knowledge and practical experience implementing equity-focused urban design. The next generation of city builders trained here. The economic model challenged fundamental assumptions. Capitalism could serve equity. Markets could be designed for fairness. Profit and social good could align. The San Francisco commitment proved corporations could invest in communities and benefit financially. Corporate social responsibility evolved from marketing to business model. Some called it stakeholder capitalism. Others called it enlightened self-interest. Political movements emerged from San Francisco's success. The Urban Equity Party, founded 2053, won municipal elections in 12 American cities by 2080. Their platform? Replicate San Francisco's transformation everywhere. They didn't always succeed. Politics is messier than urban planning. But they shifted the conversation. Equity became politically viable. The cultural influence extended beyond policy. Artists created work exploring integrated communities. Musicians developed genres celebrating diversity. Writers set novels in reimagined cities where everyone belongs. San Francisco inspired imagination beyond infrastructure. The idea that cities could work for everyone became culturally mainstream, not politically radical. Climate science communities especially watched San Francisco. The city proved coastal cities didn't have to retreat from rising seas. Adaptation was possible. Expensive? Yes. Technologically challenging? Certainly. But possible. That changed the global climate conversation from managed retreat to engineered resilience. San Francisco brought hope for coastal cities worldwide. Tech company culture itself changed. The San Francisco commitment established precedent that tech wealth carries responsibility. By 2080, corporate social investment became expected, not exceptional. Companies competed on social impact alongside profit. Amazon, Microsoft, Apple all launched commitment programs modeled after San Francisco. Corporate culture shifted because one city demanded it. San Francisco's greatest export wasn't technology or policy. It was possibility. The idea that cities aren't fixed. That inequality isn't inevitable. That technology can serve justice. That transformation is achievable. Cities worldwide looked at their impossible problems and thought, maybe not so impossible. Maybe we can be our own San Francisco. That's influence money can't buy. So what did San Francisco teach us? First, crisis creates opportunity. The city faced extinction through inequality, climate change, and political paralysis. Those crises forced radical solutions. Sometimes you need everything broken before you'll fix anything. San Francisco was broken. That's why it could rebuild completely. Second, wealth creates responsibility. Tech companies profited from San Francisco. Dr. Mehta convinced them they owed the city investment, not just taxes. The San Francisco commitment proved that accepting responsibility benefits everyone, including those who pay. Enlightened self-interest beats pure greed. Every time. Third, technology isn't neutral. It's designed. San Francisco designed technology for equity. Other cities design for efficiency or profit. The choice shapes outcomes. AI can perpetuate inequality or eliminate it. Algorithms can discriminate or liberate. The technology doesn't decide. The designers decide. San Francisco chose deliberately. Fourth, equity benefits everyone. The wealthy in San Francisco live better because teachers, nurses, and firefighters can afford to live there too. A functional city requires all income levels. Segregation creates dysfunction. Integration creates prosperity. Not just moral argument. Economic argument. Pragmatic argument. The data proves it. Fifth, adaptation beats resistance. San Francisco didn't fight rising seas with walls. It built buildings that rise with water. Didn't resist earthquakes with rigidity. Built flexibility. Didn't fight change. Embraced it. Transformed it. Resistance creates brittleness. Adaptation creates resilience. Nature teaches this. San Francisco learned it. Sixth, democracy matters. San Francisco's transformation succeeded because citizens controlled it. Not corporations alone. Not government alone. Community councils. Resident oversight. Transparent algorithms. Democratic technology governance. When people control their city's technology, technology serves people. Otherwise, people serve technology. Seventh, time matters. 60 years from crisis to transformation. 2 generations. Nobody alive in 2025 will see completion in 2085. That's okay. Planting trees whose shade you'll never sit under. Building cities your children will inhabit. Long-term thinking in a short-term world. San Francisco committed to a future it wouldn't see. Eighth, imperfection is acceptable. San Francisco made mistakes. Displaced people. Created new problems. Failed to achieve every goal. But moved forward anyway. Waiting for perfect plan means never starting. Better to begin imperfectly than wait indefinitely. Progress beats perfection. Action beats analysis. Start. Adjust. Continue. Ninth, culture matters as much as technology. San Francisco preserved its character while transforming its structure. The cable cars still run. The painted ladies still stand. Fisherman's Wharf still serves tourists. Identity matters. You can't just delete history and replace with future. Integration requires respecting past while building forward. 10th, your city can do this too. San Francisco isn't special. It's just committed. Your city faces impossible problems. Housing crisis? Climate threat? Inequality? Technology exists to solve them. Money exists to fund solutions. What's missing? Political will. Community commitment. Vision. San Francisco had those. Your city can develop them. San Francisco 2085 isn't the end. It's a waypoint. The transformation continues. New challenges emerge. Climate changes. Technology evolves. Society adapts. The city that solved its 2025 crisis will face new 2085 crises. That's life. Urban life. Human life. The solution isn't reaching perfection. It's committing to continuous improvement. This is San Francisco 2085. The tech capital that learned responsibility. The expensive city that achieved affordability. The crisis city that chose transformation. From inequality to integration. From displacement to belonging. From technology for profit to technology for people. 60 years of deliberate, imperfect, revolutionary change. The city that everyone said was doomed proved that doom isn't destiny. That technology can serve justice. That wealth can choose responsibility. That cities can work for everyone. San Francisco didn't save itself despite being the tech capital. It saved itself because it was the tech capital, and then shared what it learned with everyone. This has been San Francisco 2085. From the most expensive city to the most equitable city. From crisis to transformation. From impossible to inevitable. Your city's impossible problem? San Francisco proved it might not be impossible after all. Just unimaginable. Until someone imagines it. And then builds it. One day. One decision. One commitment at a time.